Hello, 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 beautiful unicorns. Welcome back to my weekly live guidance called Get Your Shit Together with Yana Kasperczak, your spiritual awakening core energy coach. And today we're going to be talking about why failure is not the opposite of success and how it is actually the biggest part of it. And a lot of the things that you're going to be hearing today are simply going to be just reminders of the things that you already know. One way or another, you already know these things, and mostly it will be just reminders. Okay, so first, let's talk about what do you consider to be a failure? What do you call or refer to as failure? In other words, what does failure mean to you? So today you'll get to hear what failure means to me throughout our conversation, but I want to hear what failure means to you as of right now, because my goal today is to help you either shift or expand your perception of what failure is and perhaps what failure isn't. So what are some of the names or some of the words that you would refer to as failure? The first one that comes to mind, and this was actually the basis of this topic, where this topic came from. It came from a word such as mistake or mistakes, right? Or another word, oh, I fucked up, or I messed up, or I made a mistake, or I made an error, or I should have done something different, I should have done something better, or oh, I should have known better, right? Where you're feeling like a failure. And when we give into the language and the experience of having failed based on what we know, because we are limited to what we know. True or not true? We are limited to what we know. We can't do something that we don't know. We can't just, become someone who we want to be without knowing who that is and without doing the work to get there. It's just a process of life where one is going to get up, stand up, or try to stand up and try to take a step forward and will fall. And how many times do you fall? Or more like, the better question would be, how many times do you get up and stand up after you have fallen? Because if we don't stand up after we have fallen, then what we do is when we actually stop the growth of ourselves in that direction. And sometimes it's supposed to be that way, which means that it's not for you, and you stop the growth where you don't need that. And that's exactly how it's supposed to be. And then other times we don't allow ourselves because the fear is greater than the desire itself. And deep down that is true, because if you really truly followed and the desire was stronger than the fear, you would already have those things that you wanted that you have not allowing yourself to have. You've been preventing yourself. Whether it's in your personal life or in your business, you have been self-sabotaging yourself in one or more areas of your life. Because usually how you do one thing is how you do everything. So if you're self-sabotaging in one area, often it can start to seep into other areas. And then when you start recognizing the areas that you have been self-sabotaging, you don't have to. I mean, there are people who start tackling them all, but how long can you keep going at them all and keep tackling all the areas where you're self-sabotaging? But by doing that in one area and just focusing the self-sabotage that you are experiencing in your life that's causing you to feel like a failure, because self-sabotage itself is another word for failure, right? And when you catch yourself, or more like when you become aware and conscious of your actions and behaviors about where you are not allowing yourself to grow, where you're preventing yourself to grow, by identifying those areas in your life, because rarely it's just one. It's usually more than one area. But what you do by identifying them, then you get to see where your failures are, which are not failures. And I'll get into sharing something from this amazing book, Unconventional Wisdom, that talks about mistakes. I've shared it before, but I'll share it again because I believe it's very, very powerful. But like I said, this is where this is also came from. But as you build upon failures, upon failures, upon failures, what you're actually building is success, because you're trying something over and over and over again, or doing something over and over again, longer past when most people would already quit and give up. So to me, that screams a lot of strength in there. Their perseverance, your ability to put up with how much discomfort and overcome it, your strength to show up for yourself and those around you every single day, just to name a few things. You can keep making that list for yourself. Highly recommend. Let me see what else is there. Okay, so let me go right into you cannot make a mistake. So this is one of the 33 IPEC coach training core principles, and we received this book when we graduated coach training from IPEC as a gift. And so this is quite precious because you can't buy these anywhere else. You can't get these anywhere else. Okay. And so here goes. You cannot make a mistake. There are no mistakes, only different varieties of ways to experience life and remember more of who we are. To remember more of who you are. We make choices based on our past, our belief systems, our values, and perhaps even the collective consciousness that's ingrained in our DNA. We always choose what we believe is the best possible choice in any given situation. Instead of directing energy towards the past by beating ourselves up over mistakes, relax in knowing that no one ever makes a mistake. And there's a quote from Unknown. If we treated our friends like we treat ourselves, we'd all go to jail. So, talking about that, really, you're just learning. This is how I'm going to translate this, is that you're just learning how to walk. You're learning how to talk. You're uncovering what your past was, what your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions were in the past and could be right now. Certain personality traits, your belief systems, your values, and perhaps you might even start to uncover your collective consciousness based on your, as it says, it's great in your DNA, based on your history, on your ancestry, based on what you know. You can start to understand yourself a little bit more. And one thing I want to remind you in the process of you going into the rabbit hole of who am I, and then why am I, and where am I, and all the other questions follow after who am I and why am I here, all of these questions. That by starting to uncover these things about your past, I want you to pay close attention to the things that feel authentic to you and things that don't feel authentic to you. And it's quite easy to tell. One brings joy, one does not. One makes you feel nice, warm, and fuzzy, and the other one does not. The thing that makes you feel awesome and amazing and like yourself is going to feel warm and fuzzy. So those are the things that are you, who you are, and the others are not. And the things that you want are going to be warm and fuzzy. So when it comes to failures, we often go back to the program because we spend most of our day unconscious. 95% of our day we spend unconscious, and we go through our day based on the programming that we have, which can be rewritten, right? Program is not solid, it's not irreversible. It is going to be something that you can evolve with, because the program that you have is not basically what I refer to as a program is who you are being. Who you currently are being does not actually mean who you are, right? So who you're being, it's your actions, your behaviors, your thoughts, your personality traits, your everything that makes you you, even your quirks, and how you, whether you respond or react, and how you show up energetically as well. I know I talk about energy levels 1 through 7 quite often, so if you're not familiar with the energy levels and you're interested in that, type in the search bar energy level or levels, and I'm sure you will see a ton of things on there. Or type in energy or energy leadership index assessment, and it will help you to see where understand all the energy levels and how you might be showing up yourself, so you can start to integrate that into your life in a way of who you're being and who would you much rather be, and how would you prefer to show up instead, and how do you close the gap in between. So with mistakes, I believe, sorry, with failures, I think that pretty much covers the gist of it, because when I was talking about piling up the failures, and this is how we learn how to walk, is that the only difference from when you were born to you now is the mindset of how you look at failures, how you look at mistakes, how you look at trying something for the first time, or doing something for the first time, or maybe even for the 5th time, and you're still trying to figure it out. How you're learning, right? How you used to view learning versus how you view it now. How you used to view it is you were curious and you were excited, and it was all new and fresh, and you weren't scared of it. But then you were given other people's fears and experiences in helping you to avoid them and not make those errors, which is great, right? But sometimes you can have, depending how the message was given to you, it can have an opposite effect on you. So little by little, what you're doing is you're gathering information and you're becoming someone, and you are building certain interpretations, certain meanings to words and experiences. And with things like failure, or when you mess up or you make a mistake, how you respond to it or react to it usually is a reflection of how you experienced it growing up, how you've learned to deal with it. So if you grew up in a family that did not see mistakes and failures as such, but for what they actually are, is just opportunities for you to keep going, to become better and better and better, if that is the thing that keeps calling you. For me, if the videos weren't for me, I would have stopped doing videos long ago. And I love and enjoy doing live videos in particular, so I keep coming and doing them. And my goal is to get better with doing them. And with that comes feedback, right? Being open to feedback, so that way I can become better and evolve myself. So that's all I feel like needs to be said about failure. That you already get where I'm going with the program, is that if you are now in a place where you're finding yourself unconsciously, because you don't have control over this part of the program right now. You don't. You gotta start getting in there and changing the thoughts, actions, behaviors in different ways. It means identifying how they're going to be coming through, because it's not just in one way. It's in many different ways. That's why it's so deeply ingrained, that you found different ways, different stories that prove to you that this way to respond or behave or be is the safest. So this is the reason why most people won't try anything new and stay where they are. And this is the reason why most people won't quit their job, won't quit their relationship, no matter what relationship is, and it will stay stagnant because it is safer to be there because life has taught them that's how it is. And biggest part of that, what life taught them, is that failure is unsafe. So in order for me to stay safe, I need to avoid failure and whatever failure holds under the umbrella for you versus success. For some people, success has become the thing that causes them to feel unsafe, because when you're successful, what does that mean? Like, that is it's a really good question. Think about what success means to you in all areas of your life. And when you are successful, what does that mean? What will be the things that will be changing in your life? Because that itself is very scary to even more people. Because in becoming successful, you can start to feel unsuccessful in other areas of your life where you might not have the same friends anymore, because those will be changing. Your relationships will be changing because you are changing and you're evolving. The way that you see and perceive situations, a lot of things will be changing. But I will tell you that where you are right now, it might feel scary and uncomfortable because it might feel like you will be losing things. But I'm telling you, when you are there and you're getting there and you're on the journey, you will start to recognize that all of those things that you are losing are actually not losses at all, that they are gains, because you got what you needed from the things that you're losing. And what you're losing is that extra excess weight that you no longer need, that is no longer serving you and is not going to benefit you to where you're going, because you're not meant to bring those things to where you're going, because where you're going is better than where you are. And you know this, and that's why it's so scary, because it's much more comfortable to stay where you are without making those changes than making those changes and following your dream. How many of you were taught to follow your dreams, and that your dreams matter, and that your dreams are the only thing that matter, and that your dreams are your dreams, and that most people are not going to understand them. Most people will not even care about your dreams, and even more people might think that they're crazy, that your dreams are crazy and insane, and it's just not possible. But there's a reason why you are the one that was given that dream, that you carry that dream, is that you see the possibilities where others do not. And that's the gift in itself. Because if everyone saw the possibility of a light bulb, where would we be? If everyone saw the possibility of genetically modifying things, where would we be? And being able to do it, not just seeing the possibility, but being able to do it. If everyone did it, where would we be? If everyone was the same, what would we be? We're meant to have all the different people in the world. That beggar that is annoying you and causing you annoyance or irritation or whatever you might feel and experience and label it in your body, or that neighbor or that person you work with, or whatever it is that's causing you irritation, it's there for a reason and for a season to help you grow and evolve. And sometimes those are the things and people that can cause us to feel failure, because they point out our lack, our opportunities for evolution, for growth. So most people are not going to see the things that you see, because we're meant to have different people that are doing different things, that everyone serves a purpose, even that beggar, even that annoying neighbor, even that Karen or that Kevin or whoever it is that you find annoying, if you just allowed yourself or found a way to see those people in different perspective or different perceptions, or in a way of what could they potentially be going through or growing through or living or surviving through, that can help you to allow them to just exist as they are without bringing out that dark part of yourself, that narcissistic part of yourself that judges and that criticizes, that in the end does not make you feel good, because at your core, at your center of who you are not that person. You are not someone who judges or criticizes or enjoys doing that. You are not someone who enjoys belittling someone or gaslighting someone. You are not that person who enjoys doing that or enjoys experiencing and receiving that. So at the same time, allowing those people to exist as they do, but if you feel called to step in, and when you do, from a place of love, then do so, because you're meant to be that person of reason or voice, or the person that just shows up in their life and helps them in that moment and then keeps going forward. Okay, so that's it. I feel like that will be more than enough for you guys to hopefully help you understand failure in more than what you have been understanding it to be so far, and that it is just like no different than you learning how to walk when you were little. Just you're doing that with a different mindset, with a mindset that is now fearful and not excited, and not the one that is just curious and excited and in awe of everything, which you can be, by the way. It is more than possible to bring that in, and you be awe, and you be curiosity, and you be excitement for the journey itself, and not be so focused and so, I'm going to use the words that might trigger you on purpose, but narrow-minded, where our mind is so narrow that we just focus on the outcome, and we focus on the outcome as I will be happy when I get to this point, and forget that the whole entire purpose of life and journey and everything and anything that we're doing is the journey, is everything that we're doing leading up to it. So if you are looking to earn a lot of money, not make, because you don't make money, you earn money. Making is something that not even the banks do, but certain parts of the banks do when they are making money, that you earn money. Let me send a message. My husband is calling, so I'm letting him know I'll call him back. That if your outcome of I will be happy when I earn this amount of money, and the things that are leading up to it you're not liking and you're not enjoying, then you're not going to be happy when you get there. You're absolutely not going to be happy when you get there. No matter how much money you earn, you are not going to be happy. You need to figure out what failures you're going to be happy with. For me, the failures is doing live video, however I'm doing it, however it comes through. I'm not going to criticize myself. I'm not going to judge myself. I'm going to observe myself as I am, and I'm going to smile as I'm doing it, and I'm going to enjoy the process as I'm watching and rewatching myself once in a while, so I can see where I can improve. And I do that without criticizing myself, because for me, it needs to be joyful. For you, it needs to be joyful. So if you're not enjoying the process of whatever it is that you're doing, because all of us want to have financial freedom, right or wrong? Do you want financial freedom? If you want financial freedom, let me know. In the comments, you can tell me. my favorite is like the prayer hands, like, yes please, or like magic hands I call them, magic hands, yes please give me financial freedom, as if we're asking for permission for someone to give it to us. Really comes from us giving it to ourselves, and then we will have what we want. But the journey itself is the key part. As you are in a journey, what failures are you okay with overcoming? And mistakes, what mistakes are you okay with making and not seeing as the negative part of mistakes, but what are you okay with going to the lab, science lab, and doing over and over and over and over and over again until you are an expert. And then that expert continues to become elevated as you continue to become a bigger and bigger expert beyond where you currently are in whatever it is that you're doing, not just having a cap on whatever it is that you're doing. Unlimited. And then doing it. As simple as that, doing it. But the simple part is usually the hardest part. The hardest part is doing it alone. So in the end, at the end of this video now, I would like to take an opportunity to invite you guys to check out, I know I mentioned the energy levels during this video once, and I want to invite you guys to check out, what's today? Today's Thursday. So check out the post that I posted, I believe it was 2 days ago, talking about ELI, Energy Leadership Index Assessment, and see if it is something that is for you. If right now where you currently are, if you are interested in whether you have more questions, Energy Leadership Index Assessment, it's actually pinned on the very top of the announcement, so it's easy to find. It'll be in the first 2 or 3. And there's a bright circle in there, blue and white, so you'll see it. You can't miss it. And so if you're interested in booking a call, book a call. It will be either with myself or with Anna, depending on the time that you want to book it. And I will help you understand more of ELI, what ELI is, and if it's for you, and so that way you really know what you are essentially signing up for. And it's not a whole entire program, and it's not a course. It's just, what do you call it? Questionnaire. I love questionnaires. So it's an online questionnaire that you will answer, and then based on the answers and responses that you get to understand who you are being day to day and under stress. And through the debrief that we would have together for 90 minutes, you get to walk away with something tangible where you understand where you are and where you want to go and where you want to be and how you're going to get there realistically. So that's that. And then stay tuned for I believe we have the announcements coming up on Saturday, where Bethany shares what we have coming up on the group and also a little bit outside the group. And so that way we can see you at one of our next events. But check out that post on the ELI. And if you are ready to have a conversation either with me or Anna, then schedule a call and we will go from there. Other than that, that is all. Thank you very much for being part of this journey today of understanding the depth of our programming when it comes to failures and mistakes and what's serving us and what's not. And rewriting it into the one that we much rather desire than the one that is currently not serving us so much. And it is a process. It doesn't happen overnight. So be gentle with yourself through this process and find a community. If this is not the community for you, as I'm sure it actually is, but if you find that it is not, then I highly encourage you to find a community where you feel comfortable and safe being your authentic self, because often the people in our life, when we are growing, they are not. And the hardest part of spiritual awakening is going at it alone or feel so lonely and isolated because people in our life don't understand what we're going through, and it makes them uncomfortable. And their programming does not allow them to help you in the way that it is helpful to you, because they don't even know what that is, and maybe you don't either, and that's where you start. Anyways, that is all, and until I see you guys all probably in person on the Zoom call as we are discussing the ELI, and how interested you are in understanding yourself through the ELI, which is an attitudinal assessment, assessing your attitude and helping you shift that so you can be the best version of yourself yet. Because the best is yet to come. That's it. Okay, bye guys. And until next time, bye.